Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Thank you so much for all of the love on the last video. In today's video, we are playing around with these gorgeous rose petals. I bought a huge bag from Amazon. I was really thinking Valentine's. I was really thinking down the romantic side of epoxy resin. And these rose petals are stunning. They are so condensed and you get so many in a bag. Now the bowl I'm using is from Shein. This is a silicone mold I bought. I bought two because they are such a bargain price. And I'm going down this very earthy rose garden kind of color scheme. I'm going to be using some mica powders as well as the rose petals alongside some gold foil. I love nothing more than a chuck it all in creation. If you've been with me a while, you'll know this is one of my favorite things to do because quite honestly, I just feel like you can go wrong, but most of the time you can't go wrong. And if you put all of the right colors together, it will always come out very beautiful. First thing I did was break up some of the rose petals. You get so many rose petals in these bags, but they're quite big, like each petal is quite large. So I wanted to just break them up a bit and give me some rose petal flakes as well. And then into the next cups, we're putting a few sheets of this gold foil. I do have a pot of already shredded gold foil, but I'm trying to use up all of this leaf that I have, this crafting gold leaf. It works just as well and breaks down so easily. Now I have mixed up 500 grams of epoxy resin into a cup. I was estimating it was 500 grams, but it pretty much works out perfectly. I'm using the Apex resin from Just For You Online. Next up, I'm going in with some stunning mica powders. This is the green. It's very much like a pale khaki green from Just For You Online. I don't think Just For You Online sell colours anymore, but again, I still need to talk to them and find out what they're doing with regards to the colours, because I know at the moment they're very focused on that Apex resin, which is a dream resin. Next up, my absolute favourite mica powders of all time are the Resin Pro. This is the pale pink from Resin Pro. Now I've never worked with Resin Pro. I bought these myself. Stunning mica powders, and the blooms you get from them are elite, next level stunning. Finally, I decided, I was trying it on the mat. I wanted to add a cream mica powder. That little bit of purple smudge you can see on my mat, one of them looked cream, but it had like this iridescent, almost chameleon-esque kind of thing to it. So I tested it on the mat and it was purple. So I'm glad I tested it before I put it in. So we've got the green, the cream, the pink, we've got gold foil, and we've got rose petals. This whole combination screams rose garden. It screams nature. Every rose will always come with a green leaf, right? That's where my brain was saying, like, green is gonna go because, hello, it's the color of nature, so everything's gonna work. Now this bowl, oh my gosh, I am so in love with this mold. Honestly, again, not sponsored. I got it from Shein, so check them out. Just type in extra large silicone bowl mold and this one should come up. It's got quite thin walls, so you do have to sometimes help things get down and around. I do pour the rose petals in, but they are quite big, they're clunky, they're chunky, they're gorgeous. So yeah, you do need to help them go down the sides of your walls. This works with absolutely anything you use as well. Like mica powder in resin generally finds its way down, but anything big and clunky, you will have to help it support it down. You'll know from Christmas, I made a gorgeous Christmas bowl using silicone. No, I didn't use silicone at all. I used cinnamon. How similar are those words? I used cinnamon sticks and orange slices. So I did have to support those and help them travel down in and actually physically stick them down in the sides. They won't just go in by themselves. So yeah, that's one thing to know if you're using a mold like this, that the walls can be quite thin. In the end, now it's just a case of throwing everything in, pouring it where you want, trusting the process, not having any set rules. Again, resin does what resin wants anyway. So I'm just literally using all of my colors, my pink, my green, my cream, and I'm simply pouring on. I do add a little bit of clear on the top to help all of those colours get cloudy. I want them to meld, I want them to blend and give me this gorgeous romantic cloudy feel at the end. But again, where you pour them is entirely up to you. There isn't much clear in this bowl at all. So really the only thing I was hoping for at this point is that we're going to see the rose petals. My biggest concern was that all of that mica is going to dominate and completely hide the rose petals. So that was really the only thing I was going for here. I wasn't going for many clear epoxy resin spaces. You'll know if you've been with me more than 6 months, I talk about that in other videos where I want more clear and I want more things to show through, but that wasn't the case with this one. So I just finished off putting the remainder of the rose petals in. Of course, I have to help those get down around those sides, so I'm just using my lollipop stick to move them around and shove them in. Now, remembering when you do a process like this, it really is down to you as the artist to choose your colour scheme, choose what way, what it is that you are doing. And every single result is going to be completely different. And I already know that the results from this bowl won't be everybody's cup of tea, but this is something I love to do. I absolutely love these results. At this point I thought, do I throw in some of the keys? I've got this big pack of brass keys, and of course Valentine's, the key to my heart, all of that stuff. Do I throw some in? And I decided not to, because A, there wasn't enough clear resin, and B, I was worried that they would literally all just sink to the bottom and it would just be, anyway. This is 24 hours later and I am demolding. Now this will need a back on it, so when you pour things like foil and anything that's got, volume to it, you're not necessarily going to get a beautiful flat bottom to your pieces. They sometimes will float up and they'll just be raised off the surface of the resin, so this does need a base. But oh my goodness me, I absolutely love this. It immediately gave me strawberries and cream. Anyone else? I'm thinking Wimbledon, I'm thinking the hot summer sun, I'm thinking strawberries and cream. It's definitely not screaming Valentine's because there's no hearts in here. There's nothing in here to suggest it would be a Valentine's project. It would work for absolutely any time of the year, any occasion. Weddings. I'm getting wedding vibe from this as well. Oh, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It is romantic. It's all of the things. Now, the downside to this bowl, like I said, the background is lumpy bumpy because of those rose petals and those foils. They're not going to be sitting underneath the surface of the resin. So I am going to give it a back coat of resin, but also it's hard to use the deburring tool on these. There is a bit of a sharp lip. I was considering keeping the whole lip there so that I could put that top coat. But I ended up using my craft blade to get rid of some of the sharpest areas. So the downside is it's a hard mold to use your deburring tool on. So that's something to bear in mind as well. Maybe if you're not using anything with volume, fill it right to the very top and you'll be fine. You won't need to worry about that at all. But I'm loving this. I'm loving the way all of the mica powders blended, and no one mica powder is dominating the other. So we're moving on to the next bowl. I really wanted to try this. It was more of a crystal clear, impactful wow result. And I really just wanted to try this bowl with just 2 ingredients, and that was the rose petals and the gold foil. I was thinking this was gonna scream Valentine's Day a lot more than the last one. I do have like heart sequins, heart glitters, and of course those keys, anything that would kind of like make it more Valentine's Day. Again, I decided not to put them in this one. I just wanted to see what it would look like with just the rose petals, just the foil as a main 2 ingredient bowl, and see how that comes out. And every time I do a project, I think next time I'm actually going to do this, or next time I'll leave that one out, but I'll put this in. So it's all about learning what's working best for you and what it is you like, so that next time you can either keep it the same because you love it, or add something or take something away. So here I am, I've mixed up the same exact 500 grams resin, and I'm just going to mix the rose petals and the gold leaf together. Again, this gold leaf does break down really, really nicely into absolutely hundreds of shredded pieces. So don't worry if all you've got is the big flat sheets of crafting gold foil, because honestly, it works. It works. And this is definitely a cheaper way to buy your gold foil. If you buy your craft gold flakes in a pot that's already flaked up, already shredded, they are so much more expensive per pound than if you buy actual flat gold crafting sheets. So much more expensive. So this is a cheaper way of doing it. It just can get quite messy when it's not already shredded for you. But here we are. This was a simple one. It was as straightforward as pouring it straight into the mold, not having to worry. But of course, this was a little bit time consuming. This is where you have to kind of spend a lot more time moving all of those rose petals and shoving them. Literally, that's the only word I've got. Shoving them down and around the outside edge of that silicone mold, because they're not going to go there by themselves. They do need help. This did take quite a lot of time. I am not going to keep the footage on screen because, again, it took ages and nobody needs to sit through that in real time. But just make sure that you've got a relatively flat bottom. Again, I'm going to top coat the backs so that they're nice and flat. But at this point, I don't want too many rose petals protruding up on the back. I want them down. I want them all around the rim. And yeah, so just do whatever it is you need to do to get them down and around the rims of your bowls. At this point, I am loving the combination of just the rose petals and the gold foil. I actually think the rose petals with copper foil might have an extra edge to it, to be honest. Like, I don't know if the gold is too much or if copper foils would work so much better. 24 hours later, I allowed the bowl to cure, and I then poured an epoxy resin top coat on the bottoms of both bowls. So they both got a beautiful clear layer of epoxy resin, giving them a super smooth bottom. Otherwise, it's all gonna be bumpy and lumpy with all of that texture and that volume from the rose petals and the foil. And then we're demolding the second bowl. The second bowl was everything I expected it to be. Is drama. Like, I was getting not only Valentine's vibes from this bowl, but I was getting theatre drama. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why my brain works the way it works, but I was thinking, yeah, something theatrical about it, very dramatic. It's a very bold design, and it's just beautiful. The resin is absolutely crystal clear, which I would expect nothing less from the Apex from Just For You Online. I think it works stunningly. This one is definitely a lot more Cupid, definitely a lot more Aphrodite, rich, indulgent than the last bowl. So the first bowl I made was a little bit more soft, swirly, mildly romantic, whereas this one is like pow dramatic in your face. Yeah, let me know which one you prefer. Let me know if you've got this mold as well, because I absolutely love this mold. The possibilities with this mold are just endless. I adore this one. At this point, I think the first bowl is more me. I like this muted, toned back kind of, it almost looks matte as well. It's not matte, but it looks matte. It looks a lot softer on the eye. And for me, it looks a lot more romantic. The one on the left, like I said, I love it, but I prefer the one on the right. I love this kind of like cloudy, overcast, moody result from the one on the right. Let me know which one you prefer, and I hope this video has inspired you. Even if it's inspired one person, then that will make me very happy bunny. Let me know your thoughts. Two very, very different bowls, two very different aesthetics, but both using those rose petals and that gold foil as well, but just with the added mica. There's something about the clear spaces in this one. I absolutely love them. love them. Let me know if you are a Valentine's person. Leave it in the comment section down below. I'll be honest, I'm not particularly. I enjoy crafting for Valentine's. I haven't done it for a few years, but last year I decided to, and this year I am. But yeah, I'm not necessarily go all out on Valentine's. I would never go out of my way to like book a table in a restaurant on Valentine's. Like, way too stressful for me. Let me know if you celebrate Valentine's, if you're a big lovey-dovey, you know, all of the beautiful red hearts and roses and do all of the things. Let me know it in the comment section down below, or let me know if you're a little bit more like me and just keep it, stay indoors in your pajamas. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.